Even if you're the one jumping in, if you don't see the shaker, it's actually really difficult to go. He also has to deal with global silence, and usually what Storm does against silencers, he gets a Yule, so he can get out of that global. But guess what? When you drop down from that Yule, you get fissured, and then you die. So I'm not 100% on board with this, and in addition to that, he doesn't know his lane matchup.
He doesn't.
So that's the curse of being in this first pick position toward the end, is that if the enemy hasn't picked their mid, you gotta show something. But
how would he do against an Earthshaker?
As Storm in mid, 1-on-1, that's I think both heroes just fine. I think Storm might be happy with that matchup more than against other heroes, but Shaker's still fine.
The Huskar being still in there, like one of those heroes.
There are a couple of picks that are.
I think you can put Clinks against the Storm Spirit, but I think you want to put it against the Wraith King the most at the moment.
Yeah.
And then, depending on the Mineski safe lane, I don't know what it is, but Usa against Storm is fine too, but I don't think you really want to do it. But
we've seen Weehaw for Pain play the Ursa mid against Storm 2 or 3 times this tournament, I believe, and all of the time Storm was fine. And so the logic is obviously Storm, well, in order to get CS, you generally need to walk in and use the static remnant, and that's when Ursa can punish you really hard. But if you're really good at manipulating the creep aggro, you can kind of generally pull them somewhat away from the Ursa and just take CS at your tower. Ursa poses no threat whatsoever to your tower, so you're okay with going jungle a little bit when you need to. So I would not advise that as an option here for VP. It doesn't seem to work very well.
How greedy do you think Mineski can be here in terms of their safe lane? Do you think it has to be someone like, they're banning out a Venomancer from Virtus Pro, so they're worried about someone who's extremely strong in the lane. Like, you harken back, some teams might want to go for like a Drow here, but it's unlikely they'd be able to get away with it, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think Drow against Clinks is good either.
Too much gap closed. I mean, there's Earthshaker too, but
Strafe ruins you as well. It's pretty tricky. I'm not completely sure. I'm wondering if Mineski are actually considering putting the Wraith King position 1 this game. I think that would be a mistake.
Played it a lot though.
Yeah, just now that we've seen the extra 2 picks from VP, after the first phase we kind of like Necro or the Wraith King a little bit more this game, but now it's starting to look difficult for Wraith King to truly carry the game. So it feels like they need that perfect win condition hero. Something is kind of feel like Mineski will maybe, I said it last game, might fall back on the Spectre here, but they would be picking that into Ursa and Clinks. Oh, it's banned? Oh, I didn't see it. They banned it themselves.
I mean, is this an excuse for Mushi to play Medusa? Have we found it? It's the last game at TI.
That actually doesn't sound that bad.
Oh, and it will be the Troll.
I don't like this hero very much, but...
so does the crowd, apparently.
We have seen OG work with it, right?
OG made it work earlier today in their game.
That was an early pick, though, I think, where, like, part of the like viability of it was that it was early and flexible, and you had a couple different options, and not necessarily this 9th pick.
And there were a couple of things that happened in that game that Troll wasn't even in control of that really made a big difference, like the Choreo Snipe and stuff that was on that game. So can't really rely on that necessarily.
But Troll is pretty strong in the laning phase, like because you are afraid of going against Ulsa, right? And then Troll's one of the heroes that can do really well against that.
That the crowd will not do that I can guarantee.
Yeah, so VP did play this hero against LGD, Storm as well. There was a very key moment from maybe in that game where Somnus that avoided the black hole. But for Troll Warlock, I feel like this matchup, it's a bit weird, right? Because in lane you're okay, but later on in the game, the black hole's a problem.
Pasha wants his revenge.
He does indeed. Game 2 around the corner. There's a lot of things to know and a lot of things to look for. Nahaz, what are those things?
Yeshiver, VP have rolled the dice here with a first phase Ursa in their draft. Ursa is only 5-12 in the tournament when picked in the first phase, 14-12 in all other games. The Vengeful Spirit was the hero of last game, and in my opinion, Solo set a tournament record 34 assists on that hero, had 21.2k hero damage, which was actually ahead of the Dragon Knight and within 3k of the other Mineski cores. Ninja Boogie, though, is playing the Venge in this game. He is 48-24 all-time on the hero, 6th highest win total, and the #1 assist average at over 14 assists a game. He's going to be instrumental in these fights, so stopping the black holes from that 5th pick Enigma on the side of Virtus Pro. It is the last hope for SEA here at TI8. Mineski are the backs against the wall down to their final game. Can they stay alive in the tournament? One more time out to Capitalist and Blitz.
I have to say, Alan just infuses me with enthusiasm, and I already thought I was brimful because we're getting Mineski versus VP Game 2. I thought, you know, after the start of Game 1, once VP really started winning, I was like, oh no, this game's gonna be like just over. And then Mineski, they showed that they can turn things around, and hopefully they're gonna be able to do so in this series so we could see Game 3.
I don't care if you go home, give me some hype games.
They were not a big fan of the Troll last pick. What did you think about that?
I think Troll last pick is a little bit interesting just because you're playing against an Ursa who can just enrage off the mischance. He can get in your face. The Clinks is also very good at that. The Silencer, I think, is going to be very good against the Storm. It's really hard for melee heroes in general to play against Enigma. Ooh, I don't know. But I can't root against Storm for obvious reasons.
Yes, as a physical embodiment of the hero, you even went through the same physical transformation he did as well. I understand that you've got some significant biases going into this game, but it seems like we're not going to have any early action here. Both teams kind of trying to scout out. We saw Roger being able to throw down a ward to block the pull camp, which is probably really important for this off lane of the Earthshaker Enigma. They want to be able to pull the lane back as much as possible, so being able to keep that camp locked is going to be really important.
I think what's important for Mineski in this game is to stay calm, because you are one game away from elimination, but you can also think we're still 2 games away from just getting out of this. We can knock out the favorites. You needed 2 wins anyways.
Ninja Boogie and Ice. They plant a trap. They're going to be able to come in from behind and catch Solo, and that could be your first blood as Ice just needs to be able to get another swing in, but Solo, he may have regened up too much. He's going to be able to eat through the trees. They have another round of stuns. He managed to juke out the stun for a second, but it's still going to be found. That'll be your first blood. The bounty runes, though, 2 already picked up by Virtus Pro. Mineski did get the other 2, so it's going to be an early advantage for Mineski.
And our 3rd man in the sky is going to be Pimp Knuckle once again for this game. He did not miss the first blood.
Indeed. Good job, JJ. What is this lane? It's going to be a Silencer Ursa versus Wraith King Dark Willow. I feel like any of these off-laners with the stun combined with Dark Willow are really tough to be able to play as the 5 position in lane. It feels like the support really just can't be out of position ever.
Yeah, we saw that in the last game, where it was quite hard for the tree to do anything, but we saw the purpose of Roger as the game went later. I think they're willing to trade that a little bit.
What do you think about this mid matchup? No one is putting so much pressure on Moon Storm Spirit right now. Is this a lane that Clinks is supposed to win?
Yeah, handily. It's a really tough one. Storm does have high armor, but what's really annoying about him is that you sort of have to think of him as a melee hero just because...
Moon got a little too close! He was searching for the ward, and no one jumps on him.
He was so fast at that, reacting.
Yes.
He saw that he was going to go up. There's no ward up there.
And look at that. Roger spotted out the courier. There's no way. Is he really going to try and run it down? He's going to go for the... He thought about it. He was like, I'll Fisher block it and run it down. I don't think that was really going to work for you, Roger, so it's a good thing he didn't try.
This mid lane, though, like I was saying, Storm, you do have high armor, but the low move speed means that you have to commit to things a lot harder than you should. The fact is that Remnant pretty much makes you a melee hero.
If he gets Fisher blocked here, it could be a second death for Moon in a lane that's already hard. Here comes that Fisher block with the strafe activated. Moon tries to run away, but no one's attack range is just too large. Ice turning around, immediately gets a crate. Now it's going to be able to pop out the skeletons. Only one of them, though, so they're going to need the extra damage coming out for the Dark Willow. Just needs to be able to keep the vision. The skeleton actually loses it, and they lose that Dark Shadow Realm damage. And now with the silence on the jabs, turns around, does manage to get the brambles onto the Ursa. Ramses is dangerously low. They're almost able to finish him up, but a healing style managed to keep him alive over the top lane. Roger gets super low. They do manage to get the whirling axes on him from range, and Ninja Boogie will be able to pick up the kill.
A lot of action early as both teams getting into it, and this mid lane still very successful for VP. This is going to be the saving grace for them, even though their side lanes are hurting.
Ramses lost that healing sound, but he still has plenty of tangos, but for the time being, while he slowly regens up, it'll be the Wraith King controlling the lane and getting the better of the CS war, which Leads us with top lane we haven't really talked about too much. It is an Enigma pulling back the lane against a Troll and Vengeful Spirit. So between the Earthshaker blocks as well as the denies out for the Eidolons, Pasha is sitting in a pretty good position laning-wise. He's got the creep equilibrium in his favor. As long as he doesn't feed away too many Eidolons. Attempts to go for the deny. Bushi, though, already had the miss percentage chance on him. Managed to get a Fissure onto Ice, eats through the tree to open up a path to safety.
Pasha, 11 denies in this top lane. Much CS as Mushi has, as long as he plays this passively, he's going to win this lane. You see, he's already got the level advantage. This is the benefit as an offlaner. Pasha, his laning phase, he can't really kill anybody, but he's going to be quite annoying.
It's
this
a good
hero
thing.
requires a lot of items, but it's awkward because you can't make plays around the map. You just have to sort of farm for yourself.
Yeah. And his Vengeful Spirit didn't really have much of a job. Finally did manage to find the ward and goes for the pull, which will really help out in this laning configuration. Roger trying to protect that double damage rune. Moon is going to be the one to get it instead. Now, looks like he wants to just, is he just going to go jungle? I don't really think he's trying to put in the resources to find the Earthshaker top lane. Pasha slowed down. There's going to be the Malphus on Ibushi, though. Won't really be able to catch up.
Oh, look at Roger. He's going to go for this play right now. He's loaded up the enchant. Moon, where are you going here?
If he can get the Fissure block,
He's got boots and a wind lace.
He may be able to run him down. Moon's right now pinging to be able to get some help.
Oh,
Picks
he
up
bought
the
his bottle.
and will be able to get the regen out. So Roger gives up on that kill.
Still kind of holding the area, but Moon's going to be more than healthy enough to survive.
So he just read the fact that Storm Spirit, his lane is just gone at this, right? Klinks just seems to dominate the mid lane, so now Roger's just trying to keep the Storm Spirit down even inside of his jungle. Bounty runes picked up by Roger there, so VP do manage to get 3 out of 4. So not only does it seem like they're winning the lanes because they've got the top 2 CS on the board right now and a lot of denies from their off-lane Enigma, but they're also getting better control of the map via the bounty runes, a large part thanks to Roger. He's just freed up to rotate as much as he wants.
Roger's just walking back and forth. Still only level 2, but he's putting significant pressure onto the Storm. Doesn't allow him to play a Shrine. Can't really go for the bounty runes himself. Not a very easy game to play, so he's trying to recover in the jungle, but the jungle doesn't really give you the same XP it used to.
Right.
Getting level 6 isn't going to be easy for him, and that's just going to allow this Klinks to further snowball ahead in this game.
This is a siege wagon coming in. No one certainly could take that tier 1 tower.
Top lane rotation. Pasha.
The Eidolons are gone now. So maybe they will try for the dive as the creeps are going to tank up the tower for them. Pasha slowed down by the whirling axes. Now the wraparound from Ninja Boogie able to land the stun. Immediately there's double TPs coming in. Pasha will still die in solo. Well, he actually gets into the tree, so he's going to be okay. But a hasted up Moon might be able to help out to be able to get the kill onto Roger. He throws in a ward into the high ground, managed to get a 3-man Fissure off of it. But Moon continues to get him slowed down more and more. Will be able to pick up the kill. So a very fortuitous rune for Moon, who really didn't have much of a mid-laning phase against no one's Klinks.
Definitely needed some sort of pickup like that. And that's a very good rotation. It comes in with the catapult. But unfortunately, when you're playing against an Enigma, he's going to convert it almost immediately when he comes back alive.
And mid tower falls at 7 minutes in. Mid Klinks. Between the Ring of Aquila, he's got that that minus armor orb as well. Then the Searing Arrows. No hero on lane just means he's able to take that tower super early. Ice. It's not level 6, so you gotta be a little bit careful here. Almost got sandwiched. Ice will pull the creep wave right next to the tower and see if he can get the creep wave right in front, so he doesn't have to worry too much about overextending himself.
Yeah. Does have the clarity running. Got full mana, no one thinks twice about it. Instead, it looks like he wants to run to this bottom lane.
Stun onto Ramses, blocked in by the Fissure. Ice does not have that reincarnation, and he has nowhere to be able to run to either. Pops the skeletons out. Ramses kind of stuck here underneath the tier 1, but no rotations from Mineski. Dark Will's trying to take over that mid lane. The Storm Spirit is too busy jungling right now, so there's just no rotations possible.
Storm right now is just a liability.
Well, maybe with a level 6, he can actually kill Ramsey. Super low, no one is nearby. Ramsey pops the enrage. That buys a little bit more time. Moon's going to commit more and more. Now he's going to be low on mana. They turn with the help of no one. They baited Moon in and will be able to get the kill while Ramsey still survives. That was patience from Virtus Pro. They knew exactly what they were doing. No one just waiting and biding his time until Moon ran out of mana.
Moon way overcommitted for that. Onto the Ursa, who is enraged. The rest of the team from VP was there. He has to anticipate some sort of rotation, especially with the Klings taking his mid tower so early on. It frees up no one to go anywhere. You see that early abuse as Roger did run past the sentry, so Mushi is well aware that he's here. Just gonna farm up the jungle camps. Pulls for himself to try to secure a little bit more safe farm.
Now, Mushi shouldn't be too threatened by an Earthshaker solo, but with Pasha having level 6, the two of them absolutely could kill Mushi. That's why he's playing pretty far back, doesn't want to get Fisher blocked.
He's got 900 HP, a wand, and he's under his tower.
Yeah, that's a tough kill to get.
If anybody TPs on the side of VP, or from Mineski, it would instantly turn things around. And that's why we see heroes start to filter in. Ramses is up here too, though.
Just running around with phase boost. Doesn't even wait for his blink dagger before he starts rotating. Kind of curious. It'll be the Klings who takes over the bottom lane now. Ramsey's going to have the Curse Crown placed on him. Now he can enrage it. Chooses not to. Now they can get this magic missile and just pull him up real quickly. Ramses didn't expect that, but fortunately, the stun fades. He gets the enrage off. Will be able to get away bottom lane. Ice. Managed to get the skeletons out with a Wraith Fire Blast onto Solo. It's going to try and trade out 1-for-1, but he's just not going to be able to do it. The damage doesn't happen fast enough, and that's going to be intelligence lost and gained for Solo.
I thought that the fissure padding actually
long jump. Moon. Apparently, he's just a big fan of heavy commitment. This time around, he gets the kill and gets out, though.
Jabs running in. Pasha thinking about the black hole, does throw it down.
He's going to be covered in it. Not really going to be able to get away. As the Shadow Realm fades, he will be able to get the idol on damage. That one last shot is going to be enough. Trying to go for the Boundary Rune. Pasha sees the free kill and says, why not? Not going to have a better opportunity for a black hole anyway.
Ooh, that was scary. Pasha would have been real sad if he doesn't pick up the kill there.
You know what's really cool is that Roger rotated around so much. And this whole moving the Ursa around the map now means that Roger can take over the middle lane because Klings is going to be chilling out bottom, where he's been trying to pressure the Wraith King, get some damage on that tier 1 tower as well. You're giving Roger an opportunity to get back into this game.
Yeah, I do like that. If your Earthshaker's level 2 just running around trying to get fissure blocks off your mid laner, you have to repay him somehow. This is exactly how they're going to do it.
Mineski could also use a little bit of help with their supports. Jabs is super close to that all-important level 6.
This is my favorite part about taking this mid tower. You just allow anybody to come here and farm. And on the flip side, Mineski, no one really feels comfortable being there.
Ice doesn't have the reincarnation, so he's brought down very quickly by no one.
And this is the second game in a row where they pick this combination. Dark Willow, Wraith King. They think there's something to it, but so far, not really panning out for Ice.
Feels a lot like the Weaver Earthshaker as well, where you just have so much single target power coming from these heroes that you only need a little bit of stun, and Fisher gives you exactly that. You'll see him take that bottom tower now, get away completely unpunished. And if anything, it's got to be Mineski who's careful, because BP were backing up no one big time. 3 heroes rotated down to this bottom lane. They're going to smoke up now, move through the map. I'm guessing their next objective is going to be that top safe lane.
There's this worrying trend emerging where Mineski, I feel like they just always get into this deep hole and they've got to make some sort of sick comeback.
Yeah.
The game against Fnatic, the game that we saw yesterday against TNC, game 1 of this series, you're playing with fire there, where you have to just assume that you're going to be able to win the team fights.
And we've heard so many pros and analysts talk about how the laning phase is all important.
Yes.
So Mineski will be able to get a pick off here. Terrorize goes out, and the Eidolons fade out, which means Jabs can get some damage out with the Bedlam, but the Earthshaker Fisher actually allows them to be able to separate a little bit. They do get the swap back from Ninja Boogie. They still have no real damage. The Troll gets up on that kill, and it's going to be Ninja Boogie brought low by the Malefice. They just didn't bring enough heroes there.
Yeah, another -2 is Solo. Already up to 10 stolen int. Doesn't really matter quite yet, but might pay dividends later on, especially against the lineup of Mineski. Like, his Vengeful Spirit won't really get stat items. She's going for Tranquils versus bottom lanes, no one. Trying to get rid of the Wraith King ults, barely misses out on that.
That would have been a very large win if he could have forced that super long cooldown of the reincarnation for free. I saw earlier Solo did have the smoke. He has actually got 2 of them. They just picked up the Blink Dagger on the Ursa as well, so it feels like this is a great time for them to go hunting, basically. Any pickoff could allow them to take another objective.
They want to go
Even
rush.
Roshan is available, and yeah.
This is, again, they're on Radiant side. They've got Clinks, they've got Ursa. VP are always going to have this advantage to be able to go for these free Roshans. Mineski, what are you going to do about it? As it begins with the Helm of Dom creep taking everything. Ninja Boogie.
Well,
send in the aura.
They have better scouting this time, and they've got the information, but actually now need the heroes to be able to contest, and thanks to Pasha with the Helm of Dominator taking up, this Ursa is just able to freely wail on Roshan. Bringing the Clinks in, Mineski are not even going to try.
13 minutes into the game, the first Roshan. It hurt Mineski so badly that VP were able to claim every single one last game. They've got to do a better job of keeping this area scouted out.
Do you think they just felt like they couldn't fight? And
Yes.
do you think that's the correct read of the game?
I just feel like their heroes were too far away.
Okay.
And the first wave of terror, I thought he was using it to not ping the Roshan hit.
Uh-huh.
He just wanted to see if heroes were in the pit. Because if you hit the Roshan and it's low, you're just going to make it easier for the enemy.
The smoke is going to pop. They're going to the high ground. They do spot out some heroes immediately. Gold silence, and now Moon's going to be in trouble. Ramsey sits on top of the Echo Slam to hold him down. They do manage to get the Fissure on the side on Ice, Ice, Ice. A smoke gank goes awry there as Mineski run into the heroes, and now no one. Right behind Mushi, he needs a little bit more help. He needs some sort of disable. He doesn't have the most HP, and Mushi, especially with that whirling axe bottom lane, they're actually going to be able to catch Ramses here, and rages off the stun, doesn't get hit by the brambles. Really well played by Ramses, preventing his own death there.
And look at no one. He's hunting Mushi. He's got a Deso.
Ninja Boogie, 15-minute bounty runes. Ninja Boogie willing to fight for this one. He is going to pick it up, but it looks like it's going to cost him his life. His last word takes another 2 intelligence for Solo.
Now that's a 5,000 gold lead. Mineski digging themselves into the same hole they did last game. But this time around, I feel like VP's team fight is going to prove to be a little bit too much. They need to play faster with their lineup. They've got a Wraith King, a Storm, but the Storm has been hampered so hard since the laning phase that he's just trying to play catch-up. This Wraith King is in a similar position. Last game, I think Ice 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 had the Blink Dagger around this time. This time around, though, with so many deaths on his side, is top lane Mushi, the most farmed hero on his team, gonna go down for free.
The Earthshine slow is all that's needed for no one to be able to claim that kill. Jabs and Moon. You managed to find Roger. That's a pretty important kill. He's gonna want to delay it a little bit, but it looks like Moon is gonna be able to get that kill. Pasha jumped in, wasn't able to get the big black hole on a 2, so instead he'll take the Malithus kill on Jabs instead. Support for support. Virtus Pro, I'm sure, gonna be pretty happy with that.
And my least favorite part about playing Storm against Enigma is that you commit so hard with the roll that it makes it very easy for the Enigma with the Blink Dagger to just wait, find the perfect angle. When your team overcommits into the Storm Spirit initiation, you have a perfect hold target.
And they already have to commit so much just to be able to kill some of the heroes, right? Like, Clinks is pretty tanky at this point. Ursa has his Enrage. The Earthshaker's pretty tanky.
Yeah. And it's not even like the Vengeful Spirit is a guaranteed cancel or a save because of the global silence. As soon as Pasha goes in, you just pop the global, makes it very easy for yourself to play. It means that the Storm can't go for a Yule Scepter either.
12 to 6, a 6,000 gold lead already for Virtus Pro.
Just losing more and more room on the map as his top lane gonna get pressured up by this Ursa. He's got a Blink Dagger and Aegis. Doesn't look like Mineski want to defend this. Instead, they're going to go for the bottom tower trade.
That's fair. If you don't have your Blink Dagger yet, sounds like you should be willing to trade out towers. Do take that tier 1, giving up their tier 2 in the process. The Blink Dagger is coming in soon for Ice Ice Ice. He just needs a little bit more gold, so... Will that be finally time for Mineski to start making some...
I feel like you need a little bit more than that, but I don't know how much space they're going to give you. Moon is going to go for the Yule Scepter. The rough part about that is, yes, you can take off the global silence, but if you just get black holds into the global, it doesn't really matter.
It's going to be Moon's going to have to play perfectly. Pretty much his only solution. He's going to have to play scared of global silence, an instant echo slam, a black hole at any point. In fact, later he's going to have to worry about this Ramses, who's already got a basher. Later, it will be an Abyssal Blade.
Solo runs away from the skeletons.
Look at Solo, he's even building towards the drums. That's how you know a team is very flush with gold, has a very successful laning phase like that, when even the 5 positions can look at some other item than upgraded boot.
I'd like to see Ramses push out this mid lane because he does have the Aegis and they're not going to want to go on him and connect to the rest of your team. BP, they're starting to play faster and faster since last game. They're picking up the 5-man momentum, making great use of this Aegis timing. It's about to fade out, but they've gained most of the tier 2 towers, and this is looking a little bit cleaner than last game. Pasha jumps in, Ninja Boogie is going to be the target. They set the trap, easy kill for them.
Virtus Pro pushing that tempo, and Mineski are just not really responding. They lose the support there, so Virtus Pro, they're just going to keep going. They're going to force Mineski to do something here. The tier 3 is going to start taking some damage.
Mineski, you've got to come back.
Managed to get the Shadow Realm off just in time before Ramses could jump and pounce on that Dark Willow.
That is a tier 3 tower for free. At 20 minutes in.
Ice puts himself on the front line to make sure there's no further push, but the damage is already done. They can take shrines. Wonder if Virtus Pro is going to wait to take those shrines a little bit. It seems like they're going to back up to their side of the map for now.
Those shrines at some point are just free. You don't have to risk it at this point because you know that you force everybody from Mineski back to their side of the map anyways. So you just wait, reset the map. Ramses is going to get a lot of free farm top. But the anticipation is there from Mineski. They're going to smoke up. This is a really smart smoke. They anticipated that Ramses is going to be a little bit cocky because he thinks that everybody from Mineski is holed up inside his base. Here we go.
Managed to get the scan off. Instant stun. Make sure that you chain it properly for no win range. Double TP is going to be canceled. Mineski get the clean pick off with no further action. That kill worth a decent little chunk of change there. It's over 1,000 gold and 1,000 experience.
Boogie trying to just get wards down. Vision is the game that you have to play as no one. Hunting right now. He runs into Ninja Boogie. That would be a free kill, but instead just going to deal with the mid wave.
He's going to have BKB soon. Oh, boy.
Their heroes are just going to get harder and harder to kill. Yeah. I really didn't like that Mineski just gave away their tier 3 tower for free. I do like they go for these smoke plays where they're reading the map. Going for that Ursa kill was huge. It does slow down the game a little bit for them. And they're still trying to make game winning moves, but I mean, that bottom play, I feel like that's going to haunt them.
And this is always the danger of playing against Virtus Pro, right? Is they're so adept at being able to win the laning phase super hard and then transition that into some fast objectives. And you just feel like because you're already behind, you can't take those fights. But then because they've taken so much gold from the objectives in the first place, it gets even harder to take those team fights.
I felt like last game they played a lot slower than they normally do. A little bit more tentative, I'd say. A lot more of a feeling out process than we're used to seeing in Virtus Pro because they usually just get going early once they grab some towers, but no one.
Shadow Realm, they do have the Fissure to be able to stop him in case he tries to TP away. The Curse Crown hit goes down, the Fissure, and just ticking out from the Arcane Curse. That'll give Solo the kill instead.
Another 2 int.
Just racking it up. 18 intelligence is what he's stolen so far. Immediate smoke up because they didn't blow anything big for that, so they still have Black Hole, Echo Slam, and they see a victim in Ninja Boogie. Rame's gonna jump forward, still all their cooldowns up so they can keep on fighting. Ice just trying to farm Ancients nearby.
Solo gonna run into him, but Solo is not a free kill. 1100 HP, has infused raindrops, has a magic wand.
Oh, Roger with the smoke and blink dagger. He's hoping to be able to catch Mushi. Because all Mineski's doing right now is just split pushing with the Storm and the Troll.
Yeah, but at some point you have to fight.
Blade Mail and Ice. It's coming in soon. That'll help the BKB Yasha on Troll. And Storm did complete that Yule Scepter, but now we have the BKB on Clinks. Game 1, that was the turning point for Virtus Pro. It seems like in this game 2, It'll be the point where they put their stamp on this game, unless Mineski can get a big smoke in, can smoke pops. They don't have any detection. And now they got him. The Terrorize is going to be able to come in, grab some of those heroes. Echo Slam immediately comes out, and the follow-up, they manage to get the stun onto the Storm Spirit. Enchant Totem hit as well. Man, Moon has got to be able to get out of here with the BKB. Activated by Mineski. He's got the whole black hole locked in. Managed to get the swap in. Big time hit. Managed to get a bash onto that clay, slowing him down a little bit. Troll, he's being able to control him up, but finally managed to get away with the invisibility. And again, they just don't have the vision. Mushi's going to take out from the last word. Moon has no HP and only a little bit of mana, but it looks like Mineski is still one fight, and they're going to be able to find a fourth hero in this. Roger blinks away right before the wave of terror. A long jump. Moon just popping a shrine.
No one.
Be careful. No one with the Fissure. No one, just by himself. He didn't even need the Fissure to claim the kill. Recovers that team fight just a bit. They kill both of the big cores of Mineski, and now, with that damage gone,
they want more pickoffs.
The threat eliminated. They only see Squishy supports. Ice tries to come in, immediately dies. They do have this Dark Willow with the Bedlam, might be able to kill the Clinks, but Roger hits a beautiful stun. They see him for a moment, but the Shadow Realm has already faded, so instead they're going to have to try and get the kill on a Roger. Miss out on a Clinks, which would have been a huge bounty for Mineski.
Ooh. I mean, Mineski are the kings of making awkward fights look good. As I felt like that was an unwinnable team fight for them. But the way they jumped it, it created so much chaos. They sent Ice straight down the middle. VP didn't really know how to deal with that Wraith King. He was very disruptive in that fight. The global silence was used a little bit early as a result.
Also, the way they start that fight, right? Ice, blink stunning. You've got not just Strafe, but also BKB that you can pop on this Clinks to be able to dodge that.
Ninja Boogie, unlucky, but he's going to find it with the second ward. As we're going to see the team fight again. No one gets jumped on. That forces the reaction from the enemy side.
When they get that initial stun, the follow-up Terrorize is always there, and that looked great. And then we had that black hole coming in from Pasha as he tried to lock down the two big cores, but Ninja Boogie really on point. Was very patient in his positioning, just sat back the entire time. That ends up giving Moon a free kill as a result.
And Ramses with no BKB cannot fight. And it could have just been a 3-for-1, but they just overextend a little bit too much. Now it's 4K.
And just imagine if they had all backed up together to Shrine, and Moon doesn't die by himself.
I felt like the problem for Virtus Pro is that they overreacted once the jump in came onto no one. He's got a BKB, he's got a lot of HP to work with. He's not going to go down easily. He can strafe. You don't have to use both the global and the Echo Slam as a defensive measure, because it means that your hull is going to be ineffective.
Right. They do have a decent pickup on Mineski, the Blink Dagger for jabs, so now we can jump in and immediately start getting some damage on one of these heroes in the back line, like the Clinks or Enigma. Even Solo would be a free kill for him. But then you look at Virtus Pro's side, and they just get tons of items. BKB
Don't give
on
up
Ramses as well as Pasha.
Don't give up this Roshan. You gave up so many in a row last game. This has to be like the 5th Roshan.
This combination, though, is so good. They do manage to jump in with Ice. He has Reincarnation as well as Blade Mail. So he's making himself a target, making so, whoa, jabs. He just managed to blink in, goes for the Bedlam, almost killing Solo. He wants to be able to take out this global silence, and he does so, but trades away his life. No one. Finishes off that Reincarnation. Ram's gonna jump in, going for Mushi, the long jump in for Moon, but he's a little bit late. Comes in, away from the Echo Slam, now the black hole, locking down the Vengeful Spirit, who managed to get the swap away onto Mushi. Oh, Moon
Roger's
can't get hit by this one. They do manage to take down Roger, but here comes no one and Ramses. Can Moon actually fight this one? He's got no mana whatsoever. Ice doesn't have a second life either. The Blade Mail will not stop no one from claiming that life.
And that fight started disastrously for VP as the Echo Slam completely whiffs. They lose Solo, and the fight still sort of goes their way. They even use the whole Solo on a Ninja Boogie just to stop the swap. And they're going to go back into the Roshan pit. What's your response, Mineski? You've got 2 heroes here. The instant buyback from Ice. I really like that they're just not giving it up for free. You have to play around this one, but they're going to walk in and be disappointed as the opportunity doesn't exist for them to take it themselves.
Maybe they'll just be able to buy time for Storm Spirit to come back naturally without having to use his buyback.
Still, I really like the fact that Mineski this time around, they're not just giving it up for free, they're playing around the area.
It seems like VP, we saw how they sped up the game a lot faster than game 1. They learned from their mistakes, and it seems like Mineski are doing the same thing.
Mineski knows that every single time that VP grabs one of these Aegis, the cheeses, it resets the game in their favor as they're gonna walk in. Ramses gets caught. They know he's in here. Ice
later. Ice.
blink over.
He didn't blink into the pit. Blink to the side there. A little bit curious, and now they kind of have to reset. Ramsey's gonna go for the fast kill with the enrage. They do manage to spot it out, but it's a bit too late for Moon to try and jump in. Now Ice is gonna be spotted. He's slowed down by the Malefist. Doesn't have his ultimate. It was just coming up. Roger comes in with a Fisher. BKB activated the man to get the bash from Ramses onto the troll. He's gonna turn and fight Ramsey, take away that Aegis. At the same time, they did manage to finish up the Enigma. Mushi trying to track down Roger. Meanwhile, Ramses, magic missiled up. No one's gonna help him take down Ninja Boogie. The Terrorize comes in, does manage to get the place. He does took away with that death pact. He has no HP. With the Bedlam, they almost keep popping off the cheese, and BKB, he turns, kills the support. Now Moon, he's gotta get out of here. He is on 700.
He's got bashed up. No, he gets bashed up. He has to jump away 4 HP.
Is that what he's gonna live on? Ramses so close. The silence
off. He can't jump away.
Ramses wipes the rest of Mineski. The Roshan fight is theirs, and so is the team fight.
Oh, what a disaster for Mineski. It looks so good the way they started that fight, but Ice getting caught out, doesn't have the reincarnation. Some of the combos look so sick, but the cheese pop at the last second from no one baited them in so hard they had no idea that he had it.
And now you've been exposed. You already lost your tier 3 super early. No one. With the Death Slater and the Searing Arrows, he will make short work of your buildings.
And this is why it's so rough, giving away the Aegis and the cheese. This is what swings the fights barely in their favor. If they don't have the Aegis, they don't have the cheese, they're gonna lose that Clinks in that engagement.
I have to wonder, like that blink in from Ice, that was a little wonky. And then him getting caught out without reincarnation just hurt them so badly, but it all would have been fine because Moon catching Pasha was such a big win. If they control the Clinks long enough to be able to bring him down, the fight still could have gone their way. But as you said, this is why the Aegis and cheese are so important. It saved Ramsey's life, and it saved no one.
You saw how low he got the bait. They all in committed for him. He pops the cheese, turns it around with that BKB.
And poor Moon getting bashed up. Ends up costing his life as well, despite the fact that he was on 700 mana. Plenty of room to work with.
10K. That's the gold read right now for Virtus Pro. Storm just gonna jungle up, has the BKB now, 10 seconds. A lot of defensive items, doesn't feel the need to get any sort of damage because he knows that he just has to fight through the silence. Pasha just dealing with the top wave. He's got a BKB at 8 seconds now.
It is a 80-20 game now, according to Dota Plus.
And I still see ways for Mineski to win the fights.
What does that look like? Walk me through that scenario.
You just wait for Virtus Pro, their BKBs to get a little bit lower. The Storm just